Hello and welcome to Porting and Polishing Tips from CC Specialty Tool. All the products, of course, as always, that you see can be found online at ccspecialtytools.com. We're going to go over a few things about abrasive and abrasive style products today. We'll just jump right in and show you some of the things we offer. First thing here that you might notice is these called bristle discs. Kind of tricky to say, but they're very handy for deburring, things to that nature, smoothing down areas. The little spindles and hands on there, the little fingers will flop out and knock down burrs really easy and conform to different areas. The next thing we want to do is talk about is buffing compounds. This is a few of the variety of buffing compounds you find. This is just different grit, different grades. A lot of times you can use them with these little buffing wheels. Load them up on there and they'll make a beautiful polish on things. Another thing we want to go over here is different mounted stones and abrasive stones, things of that nature. There's a huge variety. I can't go over all of them, but some basic types are aluminum oxide, silicon oxide, ceramic cut blue. There are all sorts of various head shapes and sizes. Too numerous to go over here. Next thing we'll go up to is spiral rolls. I'll demonstrate later at the end of this some of these in action. But there's a wide variety of spiral and cartridge rolls. Typically spiral are the ones with the tapered end here. The cartridge we refer to as the one with the flat ends. But there's a huge selection of grit, thickness, various shapes and sizes. Now those are typically used with this. It's in different degrees of this. This is a spiral mandrel. They come in all sorts of different lengths. They can be used. Now this pilot tip, some people get a little confused. This pilot tip actually works with any of these. You can get different length pilot tips. I like to trim mine, but it's really whatever each individual's preference. These will actually match up with any on there, so you don't have to try to figure out what kind of pilot hole you got. They will work with any of the cartridge rolls. Next thing we'll go over here is rubber abrasives. Now these come in a huge variety of shapes and sizes and grits, a fairly large variety. Now they're usually used on these little mandrels like this. They work great for smoothing out rough spots. A lot of people prefer them just because of the texture they leave. Another thing we want to go over here is buffing pads. Here's some bullet buffs, like you might see. They're used with similar mandrels to the rubber abrasives one, and then there are also mounted buffs like this one over here that come pre-mounted in all sorts of head shapes, sizes, so on and so forth. Another thing over here we want to go over is deburring discs. This is a new product we started using and offering online at ccspecialtytool.com. Comes in several sizes. You have the large, the medium to this one, and even the little small ones here. Now these have a rubber disc. They will bend and kind of conform to the contour, and they work really great for putting a beautiful polish and finish, deburring, things to that nature. Some stuff we're going to show you up here on top is different flap wheels. Now there's a wide variety of shapes, sizes, things of that nature. We even have ones that go down on the little 1/8 inch shank to be used with things like the right-handed, like the 1MC and the 182 AMC. We'll go back down here to some of our mounted abrasive stones, and as you can see there is a huge variety of head shapes, sizes, and types. These are showing an aluminum oxide and a silicon. They both work really well, and they have different applications in various situations. We'll go back up here and show some cross buffs. Now these little green things like you see on our beautiful 182 are cross buffs. They're actually a spongy material, and they will kind of bend and conform to the contour you're using on. Now ours, typically most places will show them mounted on this 1/4 inch shank screw in, which is fine, but it gives you limited reach. Ours can mount on these long spiral mandrels that give you a very long reach up into intakes and things to that nature. And like I said, these will bend and conform to the contour, so they work out really well. We're also going to show you, we sell online, we have sandpaper rolls. such as this, they can be used with these slotted mandrels. Now the slotted mandrel can also be used with cotton, steel wool, things to that nature. And it can, as you can see, the slotted mandrel has a nice little slot here. You can put whatever you need down in there. And like I said, cloth, steel wool, things to that nature, and buff them out. I'll show you one that we've made up here and kind of how that works. The last thing I want to go over on as far as the equipment are these little discs. Now there's a wide variety of them with different applications. They come in different sizes and different coarseness, but they can be used in small little areas and different applications. Another thing similar to it is this cutoff wheel. It can be used to cut through metal. It'll cut through carbide. Those little son of a guns are strong. And this diamond impregnated burr that you've probably seen in some of our other videos. It's diamond impregnated and will go through just about anything. Now an accessory you may want is like this abrasive cleaner. It's handy. You just rub your abrasives on there, cleans them off nicely. Another thing we sell is porting wax. It can be used, I use it with carbide burrs, but it can be used with these polishing buffs and things to that nature. It works out pretty good. So let's kind of show a little bit about what you can use. The first one here, we'll go with a polishing. Now this is one of those mounted buffs I showed you, and it can be loaded up with some of the buffing compounds we showed earlier and be run right in there to give a, you can actually see it, giving a nice little mirror finish right there. Beautiful. Very easy to use. The mounted buff will kind of bend and conform, but you can take off. Actually, I can do a pretty big area pretty quickly. Can you see that good there, Blake?
Yeah.
And you can start to put a very nice mirror polish. Like I said, the buffing compounds come in different grits, which is handy. Now we're going to use, this is a flat wheel that we showed you some of the pre-mounted flat wheels. This is a flat wheel that you can make using the sandpaper rolls and a slotted mandrel. What's nice about this little setup is it will, you get in there really quick. You can make these different lengths, different sizes. As you can see, it actually very quickly can knock those down, knock down high spots, and polish it up nicely. And then we'll go over to the workhorse, or what I generally consider the workhorse, and that's a spiral mandrel with a cartridge roll, or spiral roll in this case. And these are used for, basically, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what you're going to use these for. You should get really familiar with them. And you can put a nice, this is a little bit higher grit. And you can put a nice surface on there that I just finished polishing. Now I put a nice textured finish, which I actually like a finish about like this for my intake side. Anyway, this just shows you a few of the basic tools out there, abrasive equipment that you can use for your porting and polishing needs.